Rajeev, who's from Bakheda, who I actually haven't spoken to as yet, but thanks for being here. And Bakheda is also a kind of space that we're sort of looking to, or that they're looking to turn into a sort of maker space for people. And from what I hear, they have a great sort of wood workshop.
Hi everyone, my name is Rajeev Palakshappa. That isn't a photo of me, so apologies for sending in our information a bit late. I'm going to be talking to you a little bit today about a space that's developing in Rajeev, just near the Saket metro station. It's a bit of a, what I'm going to be talking about is a bit of a journey from how we've taken a space and turned it from a chicken shed into something that we're hoping will be something of a room for expression. So around the middle of last year, a friend of ours, there's actually 7 individuals involved in developing Bakheda, and we sort of rolled up our sleeves. One of us had found the space, and we sort of got stuck in to start cleaning it up. We didn't really do it with any sort of picture of what we want it to be, but with a bit of hard work and elbow grease, we started to see that something had started to take shape. So Bakheda, for those whose Hindi is as bad as mine, actually means a bit of a ruckus or chaos. You would have seen Bakheda there, which is actually a Spanish term for a space where a group of young individuals rent out, for example, a basement in a flat to sort of hang out and host parties. So that's something that Bakheda started to become. We started experimenting with activities. We had some musicians come along, a bit of theatre, a few plays. So we started to really sort of transition from, I guess, poultry to poetry, and had a couple of gigs and acts starting to take place. It wasn't any sort of forced movement towards music or any one particular activity. We had the Tadpole Repertory come and do a couple of nights of theatre. We had a London company by the name of Vacuum Theatre come and have a couple of experimental performances. Again, our safe zone is always a bit of music because people get into that. A couple of other activities that we've had is an experimental play by Seema Pawa, who's, I don't know if anyone's into a bit of Bollywood, but she had an interactive play where she sort of cooked a meal for the audience. We've had Trita Sinha do a couple of performances. One of my favourite acts, Imperial Kyrgyzstan. They're a French brass band that happened to be in town, and through various connections ended up at Bakheda to do an impromptu performance. They kind of embody the sort of ad hoc and chaotic nature of what it is that we do. But then things started to get a little bit more serious, and I think the first sort of grown-up activity that we really had was the Red Bull Music Academy. They sort of kicked off their event at Bakheda, and that was a bit of a big event for us. But it also included, I think, Jim DJ Mode Selector. And we sort of felt that it brought together not just musicians, theatre, but also people that A, hadn't been to Rajeev before, but secondly, we started to get a feeling that there wasn't really a space in Delhi where people could sort of come in and do what they wanted. So jump from a fairly organised and large event to something that was basically a graphic designer who put together a set of 4 photographers and had a slideshow one evening. Or the photo editor for Caravan actually, but I shouldn't understand what he does. We've also had Animal, a graphic design company, who had 101 artists from around the world sort of redesign the Animal logo, and over a weekend we had that displayed at Bakheda. We've sort of also had a little bit of a little bit of fashion in the form of Troika, who had a weekend of fashion shows and experimental fashion, again utilising the space in quite a lovely manner. But we are sort of starting to sort of get a feel for the things that we like to do. So it's kind of a journey in itself. Earlier in May, we had the guys from Curio host sort of a weekend Makers Festival. Some of you may have even attended. It was a fantastic 3 days of young entrepreneurs, designers, makers coming together to bring together their works, but in an open and sort of engaging environment that everyone could be a part of. On icing on the cake, we had a bit of opera just for the sake of it. So, these are just a couple more slides of the makers and doers that kind of make up the space. A bit of delicious food from the Jugmug Pela, which is a small and developing coffee and tea stall, and of course we always come back to music because it's good for the soul. But through the course of these 3 days and kind of building up from the activities, we started to, as I mentioned, get a bit of a feel for what we'd like to see at the space. It's kind of engaging, excited, and creative individuals who don't necessarily have a space to do the things that they love to do. So what we're actually trying to do is, right next door to Bakheda, we also have a wood workshop. So I guess space isn't everything, as mentioned earlier, but we are developing a space for those who need it. Especially, I think your landlord might be happy not having like a furnace on top of their roof, so you could come do that at our place. I think this is the last slide. That's our door. Please come use it and come in and have a look. But we're just really trying to create a space where innovative individuals can come, experiment, and develop ideas. Thank you.